Hi, this is Dan with StarReviews.com, and today we're going to review the As Seen on TV product, the Miracle Blade 3, the Perfection Series. First, let's just go over what you're going to get with the kit. You're going to get all the knives you see in front of me, as well as this paring knife and this set of scissors. Nice part about the knife is it's all stainless steel that's rust resistant, so it's going to last you a really nice long time. Let's go over the different knives you're going to get with the kit. You're going to get two of these all-purpose slicer knives. And these are really nice for a couple of different reasons. One, it's a really versatile knife that you're going to see in a minute with all our tests. The other part is this ergonomic handle actually places your hand up above the cutting surface. So when you actually cut down and you're at the bottom of the surface, your hand is not. That's a nice feature. Moving right along to the chop and scoop. This is just kind of like your all-purpose chopping knife. This control ball is really nice. It kind of centralizes the placement of your hand, so you have nice, good control of the knife. And then when you're done chopping, you can take the knife and slide it underneath what you just chopped and kind of use it as a spatula. So it's nice that you don't have to dirty multiple tools when you're cooking. The third knife, the Rock and Chop, is kind of like two knives in one. The back here is flat, which is good for chopping. Now the front here is curved, which is good for slicing. And in the middle here, you see this, how it's kind of textured in the blade. It has these ridges in it. What that's meant to do is so that things don't stick to it when you're slicing. We're going to slice up a potato momentarily in one of our tests, and you're going to see how that works. Again, this knife has a nice control ball, which you can hold your hand there. It centralizes the knife in your hand, so it's easy to chop with. You have a fillet knife, which is just your basic fillet knife. It's nice and flexible, yet still strong and sharp. You have a set of 4 steak knives. These are pretty basic, just your average steak knife. They work really well. You have a paring knife. We're going to show you how this works in a minute. We're going to just use it on an apple. And then you have this set of shears, or scissors, and it has a nice little place here to open up a bottle cap for you. So let's hop into some tests, and we're going to try to replicate some things they do in the infomercial and really put these Miracle Blade 3s to the test. Stay tuned. So in the infomercial, we see Chef Tony slicing a tomato, and he makes it look really easy. So here in our hand for the first test, we have the all-purpose slicer, and here on the cutting board is just a tomato. So we're going to put it to the test and see how it does. Again, it seems very sharp. You know, just a couple, very light pressure. I really was not pushing down at all. And you have a nice slice of tomato. Let's see if we can get a nice thin slice. Again, that's a pretty nice thin slice of tomato. This knife is actually pretty sharp. We're going to go ahead and just slice a couple more pieces of this tomato, and then we're going to move on to a different part of the test. So now we're going to do a quick test with this paring knife and just show you how it works. Here we have an apple. And go ahead and adjust so the paring knife fits nicely in your hand. And just start working the paring knife through the apple. Keep rotating the apple through your hand. And it might be a decent paring knife. It's definitely not the best paring knife I've ever used, but it'll get the job done. It's definitely probably not as effective as the other knives in the kit, but it is halfway decent. So we're going to go ahead and put the knife to the test and see how it performs. So here you are with the potato. Seems very sharp. So far doing a really nice job getting it through this potato. Again, it's just an uncooked raw potato. So now you have that laid out. Let's see how it does chopping up. So again, you can grab it by the control ball here, and then just use the back of the knife, turn it. And it's doing quite a nice job just chopping. So far I'd say this knife, really does a great job doing what it's meant to do. Both slicing and then just turning it and using a different part of the knife, using the control ball, and chopping up your product that you just sliced, in this case the potato. So far, the Rock and Chop's a great knife. So for our test here, we're going to use the all-purpose slicer that you're going to get in the Miracle Blade 3 and show you how it slices up some bread. So here we have some challah bread. Should be pretty easy to slice this. Again, it's a nice bread. It's not pre-sliced, just so everybody can see that. Pretty firm yet soft enough, and you don't want to be putting too much pressure that you're going to actually squish the bread down when you cut it, because then you're going to end up with just terrible slices of bread. So good, with some long strokes, obviously. This has no problem. It's making really nice straight cuts, and it's really easy to use. This knife is extremely sharp, and it's definitely passing this test with flying colors. All right, so for the final part of our review, we're going to try to replicate something that Chef Tony does with the all-purpose slicer and put it to our own little test. So first, he takes the all-purpose slicer and he has wood, and he just starts going at the wood, trying to show that the blade will not dull. So, like he did, we're going to go ahead and just take the blade and run it across some wood. It definitely is cutting the wood. As you can see there, I could probably just take it this way and actually show you the wood that I cut. And then he grabs some metal. So we have metal here. And he tries to dull the blade that way. I'm definitely running the blade across that metal. And then he takes it and moves right on to going back to cutting bread like he was. As you can see right there, it still is effective at cutting bread. Then he takes a tomato. Still very effective slicing a tomato. Very nice and easy. And then for his finale, takes pineapple and just cuts it right in half. As you can see right there, still is effective in doing that. We're going to go ahead and say the all-purpose slicer is a really impressive knife. I certainly wouldn't take some of my knives and run them across wood, and definitely wouldn't run them across metal. And it still performs just like it did right when we first tested it out. So far, it passed that test with flying colors. Okay, so you just got done watching us put these Miracle Blade 3s to the test. And you know what? It passed most every test we threw at it with flying colors. We even cut wood and metal, and it didn't dull this slicer knife. As for the pros to the kit, it has a great price point. All these knives, 10 knives plus the scissors, are going to ring in just around $40. Plus, the variety of knives that you get in the kit is going to be plenty for anybody in the average kitchen. They're going to have a knife for every purpose. Also, the sharpness and the performance of this knife is second to none for anything in the price point. Now to move on to the cons. The paring knife was maybe so-so with its performance. We've definitely used paring knives that are better before. Overall, for the average consumer in their kitchen, this knife set is going to be everything that they need. Sure, can you get a knife that's sharper in some of the high-end chef knife markets? Yeah, probably. But now you're talking about a different league completely. You're going to be spending $150 per knife for something like a J.J. Henkel's blade that's going to, probably run head-to-head with the sharpness and performance of these blades that we just tested here. Star Reviews is going to give the Miracle Blade 3 5 out of 6 stars. That's close to our top rating, and if the paring knife performed just a little bit better, there's no doubt it would have picked up all 6. Be sure to check out our blog at starreviews.com to see us review other As Seen on TV products.